Welcome to the Weekly 5 for the week of March 14th. Many of you guys are on spring break this week. If not, you're just coming back from spring break. UT Tyler had their spring break last week. So I'm good and rested as we begin to talk about an important part of a principal's job, which is taking care of teacher walkthroughs. And one of the things that I always encourage principals when they go through there is to be very time efficient. Unless you're looking for something in particular like standards or something, you have to understand that you can spend a lot of time in that classroom, but you can see very quickly if there are any kind of significant problems right there. In fact, I've always said that in 30 seconds I can tell whether that teacher is a good teacher or not. And there are studies that indicate this same thing, that they've looked at whether or not the difference between the evaluations of individuals who have been looked at for an hour versus whether they've been looked at for 5 minutes. What I'm saying is in 30 seconds, I can tell if there's a problem with a particular teacher. Problem number one is that if I walk in and the students really start working very hard to draw attention to themselves, then that indicates to me that there's a problem. We definitely want to have student-centered classrooms, but student-centered classrooms are well organized, well focused, targeted upon what the students need to learn. And when you do that, students are down working very, very hard. And if they see somebody walk in the classroom, they may glance up briefly, but they're not going to sit there and spend a lot of time trying to draw attention to themselves. If they're doing that, then it indicates that there is somebody in charge of that classroom, but it's probably not the teacher. And so I always look at that as a concern, a potential concern when I walk into a classroom. Potential concern number two is whether the teacher is sitting behind his or her desk. You cannot have the type of impact you're looking to have with students if you continually keep yourself away from them. Proximity control is huge. In fact, to use a personal example, is that when I work out, and I work out with a group, is that if the instructor is standing next to me, I work that much harder to get that extra push-up in, that extra squat, whatever it is down the line, to work that much harder. But if the instructor is across the room, human nature kicks in, and I don't work as hard. Sometimes that's a good time to rest, to kind of, take a breath, look across there, and if he comes back toward me, then of course I start working hard again. Our students are no different. There's probably nothing more important in our classrooms than having a teacher that understands the power of proximity control and goes out there and is a part of helping keep students engaged as the classroom goes on. And you cannot do it behind a desk. And so that is issue number two. In fact, in the fall, a principal decided to take some action and threw out all of the desks of teachers so that the teachers didn't have any choice but to get up and move around and to be a part of be part of the classroom. Now, the teachers in this situation didn't really like it. They complained and ultimately put enough pressure on the principal that the principal decided to retire. But the premise is still there, is that the principal understood that it was going to be important to have the teachers help keep the students engaged in that classroom. And maybe she didn't do it the right way, but her point is well taken. This is a time of year where you can think about whether or not there is any graduate education that will help bring you to the next level as a professional. We would like to be a part of that. So if you look here, you see the different individuals for the different graduate programs that we have. Feel free to contact us. We'd love to have you be a part of us.